I still remember the days when I was in kindergarten. I was getting praised almost every single day. Every single task that we were given, I finished it flawlessly, and everyone just approved of me so much. And then I became so emotionally invested and so much emotionally dependent on them, giving me so much praise that when I went actually to school itself, sure, for the first 2 years that I went there, everything was fine. But then after that, the universal pendulum swung to the left, and for the next 10 years or so, I was drowning in bad grades and I didn't know how to get out. I thought to myself, what went wrong? I was doing everything correctly. I was studying, I was doing all of these things, and yet the praise was just gone. And then, in summer of 2023, as I started to work on my mental health and on my physical health also, and I started to love myself unconditionally for the progress that I was making, and also for the fact that I was just grateful in general, I started to notice that my grades suddenly started going up again. But that was if I actually tried. And not just my grades in school, but my life in general. Everyone started to recognize me more. Everyone started to be proud of me more. And I just became so much better. And my life became better as a result. And it wasn't after 2 years that I actually realized what actually happened back then. I was putting way too much emotional dependence on physical reality. And the reason why this was such a huge mistake is the reason why we're gonna be talking about in this video. You see, it is even esoterically stated in the Bible. Esoteric meaning knowledge in the inner circle, the knowledge that, you know, they don't want you to know about. But I'm gonna tell it to you anyways because it's such a huge mindset shift. Matthew 6:19. Remember this verse because it's gonna be so important. It goes, and Jesus said upon them, do not guard your treasures on on the world or on earth. I don't exactly remember how it goes. Put all of your treasures and guard them in heaven, and they will stay forever in your heart. Or it goes something like that. I don't remember the exact citation of it, but I can recall it pretty fine. Basically, what that esoterically means is that you shouldn't rely on anything external in the physical world to be your source of emotion, to be the source of your emotional dependence. Do not rely on the physical world, earth, world, physical plane, the universe, whatever you want to call it, to give you emotional validation. Yes, I'm sorry to tell you, but that also includes your relatives, your loved ones, all of these kinds of people, because nothing is permanent in this universe. Everything is finite, and everything will end at some point. The universal pendulum will just swing to the other side, and it will be gone. And that also, and also when you take in the fact that we, as finite human minds, we can only perceive a small fragment of reality, so we don't even know the true picture. We can only observe what our limited nervous system actually interprets as fact, because we only take in electromagnetic signals that get sent through our nervous system, through our five physical senses, which are either sight, hearing, touch, smell, and taste. And then those signals get, sent into our brain, and then they get interpret interpreted. But this is where it gets tricky because our eyes can only perceive 0.0035% of the entire electromagnetic spectrum, meaning that there's so much more out there that we cannot perceive with our eyes. And the same goes for our other physical senses that we use to experience the physical reality. We can only take in a limited amount of information, and that same amount of information that we can take in gets also filtered out by our brain because our brain is not meant for thriving, but for surviving. So even from the small fragment that we actually receive, we can only perceive even a small fraction of it. And then even based on that, our brain just creates an image of what it thinks it is seeing based on its level of consciousness. So you're quite literally the God behind your reality. Well, I mean, you are the awareness that is behind all of this, but you're the one that attracts everything into your life. But coming back to what I wanted to say, do not put your emotional dependence on an illusion. Now, illusion doesn't mean that it is not real. What it means is that it is not what it makes itself out to be. Because the only real thing in this universe is the energy that actually makes it up. It is energy that is vibrating on different vibrations. And when you actually look at this yourself, and I don't remember the exact numbers, you will see that if you turn up the vibrations a little bit, you will get light. But if you turn down the vibrations a little bit, you'll get sound. I don't exactly remember the exact numbers, so sorry, but it just works like that. And whatever you focus on also becomes your reality. So, why should you place your emotional dependence on something that can change, on something that is finite, on something that can smile at you one day and can bite you on another day? Instead, you should put your emotional dependence on the within, on the consciousness that is playing this game of life. That infinite I am consciousness that you are right now, the awareness behind all of this. Because imagine it like this: you are basically a god playing a video game. Now, if you want to argue about the identity of our creator that is infinite, whether you want to call him God, Allah, the universal flow, Jehovah, Buddha, it doesn't truly matter. It's all just the same person or the same entity, but expressed through different schools of thought. Anyways, you are this infinite creator playing through a finite mind. And it wouldn't be fun if you just spawned into Minecraft, for example, and you already had diamond armor with the best tools possible, enchanted, sharpness 5, diamond sword. It wouldn't be fun after like 1 hour. It would just get boring and repetitive, right? So you deliberately forgot about all of this. And so, now that we know that you are the finite and the infinite at the same time, due to the universal law of polarity, that everything appears to be separate, but it's actually one at the same time. Remember, if I put you into a room full of darkness, you won't be able to see. But if I put you into a room of light, full of light, you won't be able to see either. Like steam and ice are the same energy. The only difference is the rate of vibration. They are both H2O. It's just another form of it, if that makes sense. And so, you should put your emotional dependence on the within, on the infinite consciousness that is actually the foundation of all this universe. And the way that you do that is that you give yourself that feeling that you would feel upon your desired reality, or however you wish to feel right now. You give it to yourself without any justification, without any reason, and you give it to yourself unconditionally. You just feel high all the time, like they talk about. And I don't mean like drugs, I mean like in a high vibration state where you feel happy, loved, joyful, at peace, enlightened, even, and all of these things. Because when you just start to feel like that, unconditionally, without any reason whatsoever, and you don't allow yourself to slip into the survival paradigm, then the universe will set you up with people, conditions, circumstances, and timings that that will be on the same vibrational level as you, meaning that they will give you more of that love that you're feeling right now. They will give you more of those positive feelings that you're thinking about right now because you're giving it to yourself within. Because right now you're like a lighthouse looking for light. That doesn't make any sense, right? All that you have to do is just turn the light on, and all the lighthouses that you desire to be in your life will come to you. It's just that simple. You already have everything that you need within. because consciousness never changes, as if it like it is esoterically spoken about in the Bible also. He is the same as he was yesterday, and he is the same as he will be tomorrow, referring to God or our infinite consciousness. Makes sense, right? So, you should only put your emotional dependence to come from only within, from the infinite consciousness that never changes, and that is just formless, that is transcended of all the universal laws, such as rhythm, vibration, mentalism, and of all the illusions that you interact with on a day-to-day basis. Just give give yourself that feeling right now within. I don't care what kind of technique you use. You can use visualizations, you can use mental declarations, you can use your crystals. I genuinely don't care. As long as they cultivate that feeling within, that's where you'll be winning. And that's how you can basically achieve any kind of reality forever. That's how you can get rich, that's how you can get woman. Truly anything that you so desire. All that you need to do is just replicate the same mental and emotional state that you would feel upon having that reality as if you had it right now. And only put that emotional dependence on the within and just stay stay in that state for as long as possible. And when it actually comes to you in the physical world, then you'll be like, oh yeah, cool. But you won't even bat an eye because you've already experienced it enough within where it actually matters. You won't succumb to the temptation of the physical world, which can smile at you on one day and then can bite you on another day. You will be the source of that feeling instead of looking for that feeling. And that's something that you need to write down and remember for the rest of your life. Because in this universe, you don't get what you want, you get what you are. And what you are is determined by the universe based on what you are on the mental and on the spiritual plane. So, what you are focusing on, what kind of thoughts are you thinking about right now, and what kind of emotions that you are feeling right now. And you need to cultivate those within. Because we actually, funny thing is, everything that we desire in the physical world, we don't actually want it for the physical thing itself. Like, we don't want money for money. We don't want the good grades for the good grade itself. Like, it's just a sheet of paper, right? We only want the emotion that we think we would feel upon attaining that reality. That's it. So, when you cultivate it within, you will actually find out that you no longer want it anymore. And that's when it will come to you. It will come flying to you like a train going 200 miles per hour. It will happen so fast. And you'll be even shocked at how easy it just is. But this is the game. This is how it works. So never put your treasures and don't guard them on the physical plane where robbers, moths, and rust destroys, but guard them in heaven, which is a state of mind where you feel high all the time, high vibrational, without any justification or reason or whatever. We just give it to yourself unconditionally, without any externalization, without any external reinforcement. Okay? If you're interested more about learning about manifestation and about all of these things, then you can check out my Timeless Reader's Mindset in the description. But no pressure, of course. I am paid by the universe, so you don't have to buy it. It's just something that if you want to help me, then the first link in the description. Thank you very much for watching this video, and remember, no one is better at being you